Bienvenidos.
Welcome to Yes,
Pero no.
This is episode number 5, and my name is Cristina Ferrero.
My name is Joe Ferrero.
That's right. Now, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and to hit that like button.
Yes. Share it. Que no se te vaya a olvidar.
Share it with family.
Like.
Share it with a friend. At least one. That helps us so much. And also, if you'd like to comment, let us know. What do you guys want to hear us talk about? ¿Qué le interesa? What would you like to know about us? There's some of you that don't know us at all. And so we're wondering, should we talk about in the future, like how did we meet, about the dynamics of our family and our blended family? Let us know if that's something you're interested in, or maybe something that we haven't even thought of.
No, bueno, llegó el momento de coger tal vez tu glass of wine.
Yeah, absolutely. Grab coffee or just your favorite beverage, and definitely your blanket. Sit back in your sofa or in your bed, nice and comfy. I've got my drink here. You know that I do. And I actually have un cafecito too, because you know that I needed it so bad. But it's already been 2 coffees, so I think I'm good. You think I'm good?
Más o menos.
Okay, so listen, today's going to be a really cool show. You know, we looked, honestly, we're going to be honest with you. We looked and, try to figure out what are we going to talk about in this episode, because that's one of the challenges when you have an episode. You want to keep things fresh for you guys. Queremos que estén interesados en lo que estamos hablando, to talk about something interesting and cool.
And stuff that people can actually learn from
that
us
learn,
that we've been together.
Relate to.
Right.
But honestly, the news was just really grim. Like people...
Mucha tragedia. Too much.
Lots of tragedies. And we were supposed to record yesterday. And guess what? We couldn't record yesterday because we were frustrated saying, what are we going to talk about? And so today we just got our brains together. It's like half a brain makes one. Because honestly, that's where we're at. I'm running on one neuron and he's running on another one. And so we said, you know what? Let's talk about some cool things that have worked in our relationship. Like the first thing we're going to talk about is things that you should never do in a relationship.
I think it's very important to learn that porque we all make mistakes.
Not because, we've never done them, but because we've done those things, we know that you shouldn't do them. Okay, what's number 2?
Well, number 2 will be everyone has a love language.
Ooh.
What is yours?
Ooh, you sound so romantic. Okay, topic number 3. We're going to do La Cocina con Cristina. Wow. And this time, what we're going to do, if you think bread making is super hard, right? Yeah. I love bread. Yeah, I mean, I love bread. But it's hard to make, right? And so I'm going to give you an easy recipe for an artisan bread. Now, I've done it for my family. Rico. I've done it for my kids. I do it for the barbecues, the family barbecues. And it is amazing and super easy to make. So you're going to get the recipe in this episode. Okay?
And we've been mentioning about the giveaway winner. And today we're going to say, ¿Quién se ganó el premio?
Absolutely. It's Regalito time. So we're going to mention the winner at the end of the episode.
Let's get started with yes, pero no.
Let's jump right into it. Things that you should never do in a relationship. Now, how did we get this list together, Ferrerito?
Well, these are things that bothers me and bothers her. And I think we needed to share with you guys for us to be able to understand each other and for you guys also to relate to all these things we're going to be talking about. I am sure que van a haber muchas de estas cosas que you guys are going to be, oh, yeah. That is true.
Yeah, it could be. And probably you'll relate a little bit more than what we think.
Okay, so number 1, never talk to a man about losing his hair.
I don't know what the big deal is.
It is a big deal for us.
I don't know why it's such a big deal for men, the whole thing about losing their hair. Every man in my life, except probably my youngest son, has issues with losing their hair, start looking at their receding hairline, right? I mean, for women too, listen, during the pandemic or after I've had each baby, I've lost hair. I mean, that's just a thing that women go through.
Yeah,
right?
Some people say that we're not losing hair, is that nos está creciendo la frente.
Their forehead is
growing. These are the little hairs aquí adelante que they start like saying, see you later, I won't be with you anymore. Y se empiezan a caer. But these are not as horrible as the one down here, which I call this area here la tapa.
I love that area. Can I?
Yes.
At night, I always look
and the hair is softer. It's like peach fuzz.
And I start to
search
around to see if I find his hand.
Cuidado,
and I kind of hold it. No.
Be careful what you find.
Hello. and then, when he's turned the other way, I just find that little area.
Ya, chica, me va a entrar sueño en este momento.
Right.
So never try to, never talked about our hair. Porque es algo que es it's very personal.
But it's not a big deal for us women. A lot of women like bald men.
Yeah, pero es que yo estoy right now en el medio. I'm not there.
No.
But I'm almost there. I'm about to get... You've been approved.
No.
Eres un calvo.
I love it. I love the way that you look. I could care less that there's a little bald spot back here.
Yeah, but some men actually look good cuando tienen la cabeza pelada.
Some men have weird shapes of their head, and they look horrible.
Mira, por ejemplo, I will never do something like Steven Seagal does. Steven Seagal, unfortunately, tiene como un triángulo right there.
Yes.
In this area here. It doesn't look natural. Y además de eso, he must be using either Clairol number 7, which is completely jet black, de eso, negro. And I imagine that at one point, él estaba haciendo sus martial arts y de momento empiezan a correrle unas gotas negras por aquí.
Oh my God, I would die.
Because it's not natural. So, it gets to the point donde if you're getting to, that spot of your life donde ya tú te ves and you see that there is, not enough hair, don't use that. It looks horrible.
Okay, let's be real. Have you used that in the past? Have you used any hair dye?
Okay, let me defend myself.
Let's go. Let's just say, let's be real with people.
In the past,
yes,
I used to do a TV show, and I was forced to put not only that.
Nobody forced him.
Yes, they did. Era una cosa de esa negra. Es como like a big Sharpie, like a crayon. Actually, it was like a crayon.
Right. It was something just to fill in the areas. Right. You know how we have the root sprayer, like when we start getting gray. I mean, I have to do my roots every 3 weeks, the most. Every 4 weeks, I try to stretch it out. But there's this stuff that you can use, like that root color that you spray on, except I'm allergic to air, so I'm allergic to it.
Eso lo venden en Home Depot.
Well, I mean, if you get the Home Depot kind, it's going to be better.
Hey, buy a spray can negro y te echa spray.
Right, I told them, do you want me?
It's cheaper.
Do you want me? I can just, kind of spray it there, and it kind of fills it in.
No me gusta. Es que it's not natural.
Listen, if it makes you feel comfortable, and you're a guy, and you want to use hair dye.
Yeah, but what happens when you go to bed
forced.
Y la almohada está llena de black stuff? It's not real, baby. It's not real. It's just, don't fight it. Acéptalo.
Let's go to number 2. Yeah. Another thing that you should not ever do in a relationship. Okay, for women, don't ask us about our past relationships, okay? Don't do that. And much less about details about our intimate life. Now, if you have already done that with your partner and you've talked about past relationships, you will know that whatever conversation came out of that was the worst thing that you could have done.
No, but we had talked about your past relationships, but
very little.
But we have never gone into the details about what actually happened.
Exactly. And I was very clear
and I think as a man, it would be very hurtful to know. Obviously. It's better not to know.
Listen, when you get with your partner, unless it's been the only person you've ever had in your life, okay, you never even liked anybody in elementary school, then you are obviously going to have previous partners. There's going to be a history. And that's something that some partners don't understand. When you get together, especially if it's a blended family like us, I have children from another marriage. He had also another marriage. So we're going to have baggage.
So what do you mean a blended family? La familia mía es como un batido. That's what you're saying?
Sí. Es como leche condensada with fruit.
Yeah,
it's like un batido de fruta.
It's pretty heavy.
I have 5 children. I have 2 non-biologicals and 3 biologicals.
Okay? Y se ha casado 18.
No, I have only married twice, and all of them I adore, and I have 5 beautiful grandchildren.
Mató a 2.
No. A ti, tú estás la virilla. So, obviously, there are things that happen before I even met him. For you to be, upset because I had a life before, that's just silly. And you're wasting time, right? So the best thing that you could do, don't talk about your intimate life. Don't talk about those experiences. You could say yes, and maybe some of the traits that person had, and that you no longer want to have that in this relationship. That's okay. But don't go into detail, because that always will get you into trouble. So that's for women.
Let's go to number 3.
Number 3.
Por ejemplo, nunca le digas a un hombre whatever you want. a lot of women, cuando tú le preguntas algo, siempre pasa lo mismo. And I'm sure that you've been in this situation where le preguntas a una mujer, where do you want to eat? Y entonces te viene con esto mismo. Oh, whatever you want. Y entonces viene toda esta cuestión. Y al final, at the end of the day, we have to go to a place that they want to go. So, ¿pa' qué carajo you told me whatever you want? So, don't ever, ever use that to a man.
Okay, but listen, the truth is that I really do mean whatever you want because wait, because I do, I in that moment, I don't even know what I want to eat. Right. I know that I'm hungry and it's not a big deal to me. And especially where we live.
Sí, pero ¿por qué me dices a mí whatever you want? If I want
I usually go with what he wants. The problem is that he loves Chinese food. Mm-hmm. He loves it. I like it too. But we don't have great places in this city where we're at of Chinese food. I went there twice already and I hated it, and it just like I can't. So I told him, please don't make me go there again. I would love to go to back home in Miami, we have like a Canton's. You guys know what I'm talking about? The best. Anything that you order there's delicious. Their honey chicken, they're sweet and sour. The ribs are delicious.
Listen, but that is not the point. You're changing the topic.
No, because I usually go with what you say.
You know what? Let's move on.
Women hate when you ask them their weight, and as we are getting older, their age. And even when we're younger, sometimes when you're a young girl, you want to feel older. Right? So you don't want to be asked, how old are you? And then you're like 14 or 15. You want to be like 21 by that time. But then when you're older and you're already hitting 35, 40, 45, you don't want to be asked.
But why not? What is the big deal about asking?
It's the same thing as you guys with your hair.
I have a case where a guy used to go out with a woman. Nunca le preguntó la edad. They started falling in love. And then he found out that she was 7 years older than him. And as time went on, empezó a haber un gap generational gap, donde él le gustaban ciertas cosas y a ella no, and it had to do with the age. Entonces, if he would have known, most likely at that time, qué edad tenía ella, a lo mejor that would have been a determining factor for him to stay in that relationship.
With someone,
you don't care about the age.
You don't care, but if you want to know, I mean, that person should tell you. It shouldn't be such a mystery. So in that instance, it's okay. But normally, you know, especially when you're getting to know each other, don't ask them. That's one thing about the age. But the weight, that is definitely something. I mean, the age is something you can kind of avoid in the beginning, or maybe ask, but very lightly in the beginning, especially if it's a touchy subject. A lot of times it doesn't really matter to the woman. But about the weight, don't ever ask her how much does she weigh.
I think that the age thing is very dangerous depending on the place also. For example, if you're in a club, okay, y no hay mucha luz, and you have already a couple of drinks, y tú no le preguntas a la mujer, how old are you? And then the next day you wake up and you're like, oh my God.
You might have Tales of the Crypt right next to you. You never know. But the weight, don't ever ask. Even now, I've been with him forever. Don't ask me how much I weigh. Now, I've been telling him more because I'm on a plan and I want to lose some pounds because I really want to feel healthier. I want to feel more energetic and I want to feel good, especially to play with my grandkids. And just for my everyday life. So now I've been telling him, hey, I'm this amount and I'm this amount. But for the most part, don't ask your woman, how much do they weigh? That is super rude. Never. Or sometimes we've been like, we go to a supermarket and there's a big scale and he weighs himself. No problem. And then he says, you going to get on it? And I look at him and I go, no, I ain't.
Qué tragedia con el peso.
Yes.
It is what it is. It's the same thing igual que lo del pelo.
There you go. All right, let's move on to you guys.
Okay, the other one will be never tell a man anything while I'm driving. Any directions. Don't tell him what to do. Que si para, que si no para, que look at the car. It's so annoying.
How are you guys going to get anywhere?
I know exactly where I'm at. I've been driving for a long time. Here we
go with the driving record.
Yes, I've been driving for a long time. How many times a mí me ha parado un policía?
Things have happened. The people that have stopped you or whatever. You've gotten out of it, but it has happened.
¿Cuántas veces a mí me ha parado un policía in the past 25 years?
No, probably not a lot.
Not a lot? No, none.
I remember once on the turnpike you got stopped.
None.
Yes, you did get stopped. And then it was one of our friends that was a state trooper, so he got let go.
He stopped me because he knew it was me. That's why.
What do you think of that?
It's the truth. How many tickets do I have?
You got a ticket to this party.
0. How many accidents do I have? 0. So I don't need
I remember being in an accident where you hit the car in front.
No more. I was hit on the back. And that's why we hit the car in the front.
That's an accident. Is that not an accident?
I did not
cause it.
Exactly.
So
0. So how many times have you crashed?
Maybe twice.
Every time I bought you a new car.
No.
You want me to name them?
Yes, because I don't remember. I'm a good driver, though. I can drive a truck. I can drive a
brand new Kia Sportage. A brand new Toyota Sequoia. A brand new...
Wait. Where did I
You scraped the entire side of the Sequoia with a fence in the school.
The fence was in the way.
Right. Another one. The Chevrolet Tahoe. Brand new Chevrolet Tahoe. You also crashed that.
How? I don't remember that.
Also in the side, on the thing. Do you hit something in the parking lot?
I think something hit me.
Every time I bought you a brand new car, you crashed it the next day. Pretty much. So, let's move on.
I think I'm ready for a new car now. Okay, next. Never ask us what is for dinner. He called me the other day. I was in the middle of a lot of different things, but that was the day that I was doing things in the house. So he's always hungry. So he calls me at that moment where I have the laundry going. I was changing the sheets for our bed. I was cleaning our master bathroom, all of those things. And he said, what are you making for dinner? And I said, you're going to be getting clean underwear, and you're going to be getting a clean bathroom and clean sheets on your bed. How do you like that?
But that's part of your daily reminder. That is part of your daily reminder that you should make dinner for your husband.
Really?
Yeah.
And then, obviously, I have to look, where is he, to make sure that I have that food ready for when he gets home. And I do.
Okay, hold on a second. What do you mean you have to look? Are you following me in the...
Of course.
In the GPS?
I know where all my people are, and you know where I am.
That's kind of creepy.
No. I know where all my kids are, for the most part. And I know where my husband is, of course. And they know where I'm at. Just in case anything happens, they could check. Do I normally have food ready for him? Absolutely, of course.
Y entonces,
and I do it with a lot of love. But some days, and just that question of what are you making for dinner, it's like, you're going to like what I'm making. Just come home and eat it. But I think it's just one of those chords that kind of rub us the wrong way. It's not that we don't want to do it. Some days I'm not in the mood. But don't ask me.
No te lo voy a volver a decir. And if I get home and there's no food...
Pero, ¿qué se piensa él hoy?
I have to eat out.
That's right. You're taking me out to eat. What's next? Oh, yeah.
Never tell a man to shut up. That is the most disrespectful thing you can ever do to any man. No hay cosa que a mí me moleste más que yo reciba esa palabra.
I mean, women, especialmente las latinas, que dicen, cállate.
Yes, I hate that word. Cállate.
Shut up in Spanish is cállate. I probably have done that more than I would like to admit.
Thank you for being honest.
When we're joking, I'll be like, shush it. For example, if I am talking to one of my kids about something and he just wants to walk in and give his 2 cents worth, I'm going to look at him and give him the look like, let me finish this conversation. But, sometimes there's no control on this side because he just wants to interrupt. And when he'll say something, maybe I'll say, shush.
You told me, cállate.
Maybe, depending how I feel that day. Yes, I have.
I think this is disrespectful.
Yes, I can.
Just say, give me a moment.
Okay. I'm going to work on that.
Okay?
I'm going to work on that.
That will be a lot better. So I don't have to get upset and callarme la boca.
Right. We're going to go now to number 9. Mm-hmm. Never tell a woman that she is being hormonal. If it's the time of the month or if she's in the middle of her life and there's a lot of changes going on, don't even talk about hormones. We can talk about it. But you cannot.
Yeah, but
that is just the rule of thumb.
Cristina, but it's affecting me. It's affecting how I feel also.
It doesn't matter because...
And I have to remind you que tú estás en ese nivel de locura.
And eso es locura to do that.
Huh?
Eso, lo que tú estás haciendo ahora.
Right.
Es locura. That is madness. For you actually to say, I have to remind you that you're being hormonal.
Right.
No, you are out of your mind.
Pero entonces, what am I supposed to do? Aguantarme and put up with it?
God forbid that you hold it in.
It's a roller coaster.
That's life.
You
life
can
is
be
a
very
roller
happy
coaster, baby.
Y de momento haces así and you flip.
You got a lifetime ticket to this roller coaster. So you got to be kind and not remind me that I'm going through that. I don't want to hear it all the time, right? Am I right, girls? Hello. Now, guys are hormonal too, and they go through their midlife crisis and weird things, okay? This happens too. Would you like me to tell you, oh, you're probably doing that because you're going through a midlife crisis? And be telling you that every day? That bothers. So don't do that.
Okay.
Last but not least, number 10. And I'm sure there's a lot more, but let's just go through 10 today.
Okay, so that one will be the word whatever. You know, every time we have some kind of discussion, because we have a different point of view about something, ella va y me mete la palabrita esa de, okay, whatever.
Well, I try not to do it anymore, but he's learned it now.
Right.
So if you guys saw our last podcast, he used it quite a bit.
Right, because of you. So I'm using it against you because that's the word you used to use all the time. Cada vez que yo tenía un tiki-tiki contigo, you will come up with, whatever, and then you will walk away. Oh, that's another thing. Don't walk away saying whatever.
I'm going to bite that finger if you keep pointing at me.
Stop it.
All right, let's pass the page. 'Cause I got a little
Okay,
heated.
let's go to round 2.
Woo!
Fight. This is going to be igual que Mortal Kombat game.
That's right.
Finish him.
Yeah, finish him.
Me van a acabar conmigo.
Let's talk about something that is true, and I've known this for a long time, and I have realized throughout the years that it is so important in relationships, not only in marriage, okay? There's a lot of you that are seeing us that are not married or not in a relationship with, a partner or whatever, but right now, just in general, with friends, with family members, with your husband, your wife, your partner, whatever the case may be, everyone has a love language. And it's really important to figure out which is your love language because it's going to help for your relationships to flow and for you to get along better.
Muy importante to learn
We
that.
banter a lot, especially on this podcast, because a lot of you think it's funny. And obviously my kids thought it was funny that they wanted us to do this podcast. But for the most part, honestly, Joe and I, we get along fairly well. And, through the years, we've learned what is it that works. Like, what is your love language and what is my love language? Let's talk about it. It's interesting, and you will be able to find out what is your love language.
Let's do it.
Years ago, I found a book that is called The 5 Love Languages. And the gentleman that actually wrote this book, his name is Gary Chapman. Gary Chapman, he's an author, he's a speaker, and a counselor. And he has passion for people and for helping them with lasting or forming lasting relationships. He's a best-selling author of The 5 Love Languages, which is a book. You can get it on Amazon or wherever. It's a series, and the director of Marriage and Family Life Consultants. Now, love languages, basically, what is a love language? It's how people express love and receive love. And there's 5 different ways that human beings do this. Quality time, words of affirmation,
Gifts, acts of service.
Yes.
Very important.
and the last one is physical touch. Does it mean that you only express love in one way? No, sometimes we use all of those 5. But which one is the most important to you? Which of the love languages is important for your partner to do for you to feel loved? Okay, that is so important for you to find out. So how do we do this? Guess what? There's a quiz.
Yes, and we took the quiz. So it tells you what is your strongest love language in different percentages.
Yeah.
And that way you know more or less what kind of individual you are when it comes down to expressing or receiving love.
Absolutely. So we're going to
importante.
link, and we're going to let you know in the description where you can take that quiz. Gary Chapman actually has a website where you can take a look, and there's different videos and everything. It's super cool. We're going to show you a couple of them. And now we're going to show you what is our love language. Do you want to go first, or should I go first?
Ladies first.
Okay, ladies first. So my love language is actually acts of service, okay? And we're going to take a look at the video.
It looks like my house. So, en otras palabras, a ti te gusta que cuando las cosas están como están en ese video, que la casa está vuelta loca, los nietos, todo everybody's running around, los perros, los animales, es todo chaos. Instead of me saying, "Hi, baby, I love you," you want me to get involved in the whole thing.
Well, yeah.
And try to take
me,
control of
the
it.
way that I feel loved, it's more so in the middle of chaos or when something's going on that I'm feeling overwhelmed, which can be a daily thing.
Right.
For you to step in and kind of say, if I wasn't able to cook that day because whatever, I'm not feeling well, for you just to say, don't worry about it, I'll bring something home. Something as simple as that, of bringing home a pizza that I didn't feel well enough to cook that day or to have to defrost something or to have to go to the market to go buy something to cook.
Right.
You just brought home a pizza and said, babe, don't worry about it. It means the world to me. You might think, oh, what's the big deal? I mean,
right.
Maybe bringing you
important.
a card or bringing you a piece of jewelry or a gift or
jewelry.
Right, because one of the love languages is receiving gifts. That, to me, is not my love language. I'll show you how I
you mean
rate it.
It's not? Okay.
It's not. Now, I like jewelry, and I like diamonds. You know that.
No kidding.
But I will tell you, on my quiz, I was 37% acts of service. That is how I feel loved the most. The second way that I feel loved is physical touch. For example, I'll reach out for his hand. I like hand holding. Joe has this warmth in his hand that when I feel it on my hand, I feel safe. So I love it. You're a sweetheart. Quality time, I rated 20%. Words of affirmation, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that, is 17%.
Okay.
And receiving gifts for me was 0, like not that important, which is crazy because yes, I can enjoy a gift, but honestly, even on Christmas, if you notice, Christmas morning, I like to gift.
Right. You're
people.
more of a giver.
I'm a giver, and I love to give gifts. My daughter is that way, too. And we have joy when we're giving a gift to see how that person reacts, right? To something that they really wanted. But I don't like receiving gifts all that much. I like to go and buy something that I like, but that's not how I feel loved when you give me a huge gift. Joe, let's look at yours. How did your quiz come out?
Well, mine came out, it has to do more with quality time.
Yes, let's look at the video a second and then go into...
So you guys understand. Está bonito el teddy bear.
Look at his little heart, how it shines. So it says, for some people, nothing says I love you like your full undivided attention. And definitely, I know my son is that way. And definitely, Joe, you are that way. So that's why if you are on the phone with someone that their love language is quality time, and when they're talking to you, you are on the phone, they are not feeling loved.
I love to do barbecues, family gatherings and all that stuff because of that. I like to spend quality time with friends, with family. I don't really care much about gifts at all. I think that all the physical world is beautiful. It's not. I don't value it, but I don't think it's as valuable as a person's presence, as a person's
undivided attention.
Yeah, I think it's a very, very important thing for me. Que me prestes atención. I will say 98% of the time, people ask for my help, but I hardly ask for help. Most of the time, I do the things by myself, even if I have to lift a whole mountain by myself. I will break my back.
But guess what?
before I ask for help.
Quality time, 35% for you.
Yeah.
But your second way of feeling loved is acts of service.
Right.
So that means that if you don't ask for help, but let's say your son goes out there and say, Dad, can I help you?
Makes the world to me.
You feel so loved.
Right.
That means the world to you.
But I won't ask for help.
He won't ask for help because you want to feel loved and you want it to be
because that's what I will do.
You don't want to have to tell them how to love you.
No. I don't think, I think it's my job as a human being overall that nobody should be asking me for help. That should come from me automatically. Like if I see a situation, wow.
You should know they need help.
They need help. I just jump in. I don't say, hey, do you need help? No, I just jump in. And do whatever I need to do. So I guess I would like to have the same thing.
Exactly.
Que me hagan lo mismo a mí. Que yo no esté preguntando or begging sometimes to say, I'm there at the edge and I know I'm like dying because I really need help.
And nobody goes.
And nobody goes there.
Exactly. Now,
and it's hurtful. It is hurtful.
We're not psychologists. We're not therapists. We're simply a married couple that have gone through, we've made mistakes and we have had to learn from the mistakes. And this is our second marriage. And we're simply just speaking from our own experience, okay? You can go ahead and take the quiz on the link below. You can also see the different videos, and there's various videos on there that you can learn from Gary Chapman on different things on relationship. But it's very, very helpful. And also, words of affirmation. A lot of people in a relationship, one of the things that I think that we learned along the way.
And physical touch too. I mean, un poquito, porque tampoco I'm not... as a matter of fact, I got 90% on the quiz. I am the one.
Physical touch.
Yeah, I am the one that basically goes out of my way to hug people, to kiss people. Sometimes it's not in their culture. A veces con los mismos americanos I've approached them to hug them and kiss them.
Yeah.
O sea, genuinamente, and they feel like...
Yeah, that's more our style.
Yeah, it's more like a Latino kind of thing.
We grew up in Miami, and the Latinos will go into a room and they kiss everyone on the cheek, or they...
I don't hug everybody. No. And I don't kiss everybody.
No, now we don't do that.
Yeah, whoever I hug or kiss is because I really value them.
Yes, and we're here in Georgia, so, they know that we're Latino and stuff like that, and I think that they're more open, to being that way with us, but it's not, the norm. Do we all need a little bit of all of this? Yes, but it's important to know which one are we strongest in and what our strongest or our main love language is, because if you're trying to do words of affirmation, like it is important, right? When you lift someone up with your words, not to be criticizing your partner in front of your friends, in front of your family, in front of your children. Always use your words to lift up.
Depende, si estás en una jodedera and it's funny.
Yes, of course, and we joke all the time.
And we have done that,
and we rag on each other.
Yeah,
but we know that, we could be joking or...
But not disrespecting, your partner.
In front of people, when we're talking about something, don't use words to bring them down. Always to edify, always words of affirmation. That is so important, even if it's not your main language. If I hear you say, she's an incredible mom, that to me means the world. Right. She's an incredible friend or wife, or she's just the best at cooking. Important. It might not even be true, just in general. Obviously, there's better cooks than I am, but it just means the world that he thinks that way of me. Although it's not my main love language, but that's what I mean.
We all need that kind of
absolutely
words around us.
Sometimes that's all that it takes for a relationship to work. Stop ragging on each other and start lifting you guys
And
up.
sometimes this is something that we really need to pay attention to, and it's the fact of the power of the words.
Yeah.
You can get someone and beat them up, and then the next day they have bruises and they feel pain, and then as time passes by, those things will heal and will go away. But words... Mm-hmm. Sometimes they have such a huge impact psychologically on a person that never goes away.
Absolutely. And in relationships in general, even on our kids, what you say, believe me, they'll remember later on. And that kind of repeats in your head. So this part is kind of, serious, but it's so important in relationships.
And the meaning of the words too. Eso es otra de las cosas que as time has gone by, we have lost the value of the meaning of the words. Yo te puedo decir a ti, yo te quiero in Spanish, but if I tell you, yo te amo, that's completely different.
But not in English. In English, it's just really love is love, right?
Yeah, but...
It's like, I like you, or I love you. But, we know that the most important of all of those is love. Not I tolerate you or I like to be with you sometimes.
So in Spanish, you can actually
really love you.
You can define it even more because the word love, yo te amo, no es lo mismo que yo te quiero. Mm-hmm. Maybe the direct translation would be, en francés se diría je t'aime.
Yeah.
Y yo te quiero es yo te quiero como que I want you.
Right. Yeah.
So it would be like, I want you next to me because you're nice, you're sweet, you're a good companion, pero cuando tú amas a una persona, that's a different level. Mm-hmm. So let's not confuse that, especially si estás hablando en español. So yo la amo a ella y también la quiero.
So listen, we are simply and uniquely just speaking about our relationship and what has worked. It's definitely something that I've seen work in a lot of people. Find out, do the test for yourself, do the quiz. It's simple. There's just, like various questions, like a series of questions that'll give you what your percentages are. And let us know how you rated in the comments. Let us know if there's anything that you tweaked in your relationships because of taking this quiz that has helped. Sometimes just something as little as knowing somebody else's language, their love language, and showing them once a day something in their love language to help them feel loved. It can make all the difference in the world in your relationship. You never know. It could be with someone at work. It could be in your marriage or in your boyfriend and girlfriend.
We are different. We're very,
whatever the situation
we're very
may
unique
be. Even
individuals.
Even with our parents. A lot of us, we've had issues with parents or our parents are aging and we remember things that happened when we were younger. If you kind of find out what is that person's love language, you kind of start understanding them a little bit more. And maybe it could even help your relationship.
And learning specifically what your partner loves and what they hate. Because that's one of the breaking points on any relationship.
Absolutely.
When you already know, you already learn, what they hate, y tú sigues and continue doing it. And it gets to the point where you're sending a signal that you don't care. You don't care how they feel. You don't care how much they get hurt when you do certain things, and you keep doing it.
You don't realize you're sending that signal, but that's what they're seeing, and that's
it
what
gets
they're
to
receiving.
You have a date and a time where you say enough is enough, y ahí termina todo. And it doesn't matter how many sorries you say, how many times you say, I'm never going to do this again. It never's going to happen. I think
at the end of the day, people just want to feel like you heard me. Like, are you listening to what I am saying? And they want to feel valued. And respected, like what I am saying matters.
So let's move on to the next topic.
So now we're going to go into La Cocina con Cristina. And today you're going to learn how to make my easy artisan bread. It is so simple. It's so delicious for any event. You can do it with somebody that's going to come over for some cocktails or just to have some appetizers. You can make it with maybe some pasta. I have made it even with a Cuban dish. It doesn't matter. Everybody loves bread for the most part. And just to cut that bread when it has come out of the oven and to get your favorite butter and just slip it on, just put it on that piece of bread. My God. It is delicious. Let me go ahead and show it to you. This is how I do it. And let me know if you try it. Let me know how it comes out. You're going to love it. We're going to be needing a bowl. I use the organic unbleached bread flour, Arrowhead Mills. I use Celtic salt, dry yeast, which is active dry yeast, and warm water. Not cold and not hot, just warm. And also get your favorite extra virgin olive oil. We're going to start by getting 3.5 cups of the bread flour. Now we're going to use 2 teaspoons. And this is Celtic salt. You can use the salt that you would like. I like to use Celtic salt because it has a lot of minerals in it. And we're going to be using 1/2 teaspoon of active dry yeast. Now we're going to be mixing, and I'm going to slowly be putting in the warm water. It said about 1 3/4 cups, but usually I find that 2 cups works well. So I always pour 2 cups of warm water, and I start mixing it in, and then I figure out if I need a little bit more. And you want it to be a sticky consistency, and you kind of go with how it's working for you. And see, there's a little bit left. I usually need it. See how it starts to get all sticky? So now that it's nice and sticky and mixed, I'm going to just put a little bit, just by the eye on the edges. Just a little splash. Maybe a little bit more here. Now we're gonna cover our bread with a dish towel just like this. And we're gonna put it aside for 2 hours and allow it to rise. This is my Dutch oven. It's from granite stone, and I've made a few breads with this, already have some stains on it. This, I believe, cost me at Big Lots like $15. It works wonderful for the bread. What you're gonna do is you're gonna stick your Dutch oven in the oven for 450, 30 minutes. So you're gonna preheat your oven at 450, and once it's preheated, you're going to set it for 30 minutes. Okay, let's take a look. We have our dough ready. I'm going to get some flour, and that your counter is disinfected. Very good antibacterial spray. Now we're gonna be grabbing our dough, as you can see, and we're just going to, there we go. Get a little bit more. It gets a little messy, but it is so worth it. And turn it over. And I kind of make a ball till it feels good to you. I will use a serrated knife that I have, and I pretty much just cut some lines in it. Our pot right over here to the left has been heated. So I'm gonna grab my dough and just drop it in there. I'm gonna cover it in the Dutch oven and put it back into the oven for another 30 minutes. Okay, after 30 minutes, we're gonna lift this up. Look at how beautiful that looks. Ooh, nice and hot. And we're going to put it back in for another 10 minutes for it to get nice and brown on top. This bread came out absolutely perfect. It's going to be so crunchy. Just wait a few minutes until it cools down so that you can enjoy it with some lovely butter or jam or all by itself. It is just amazing and so tasty.
I can smell it from here. Es delicioso ese pan. De verdad
it really is. It is so good. You're going to love it. It's very easy. And as a matter of fact, I got my Dutch oven. You can get it anywhere. I know that Walmart carries it. I got mine at Big Lots.
And it's simple and healthy.
Absolutely. No preservatives or anything, so you're going to love it. So let's go ahead and go into our Regalito time winner. Who is the winner of our giveaway? We're going to be giving away a beautiful candle that is non-toxic.
Nice.
It is free from toxins. I use only the best fragrance oils and wax from my personal candle line that is called La Luna Glow Candles. If you guys want to take a look at it, you're more than welcome. I'm going to go ahead and link it below in the description. I have been making candles for almost 4 years now. As a matter of fact, this year it's going to be 4 years in business.
Wow.
This is something that I started doing because I absolutely was laid off from a company, and I think I'm going to talk more about that probably in one of our future podcasts. And this just fell into my lap, and I love doing it.
You know, it's a blessing in disguise también.
It really was a huge blessing in disguise, that whole layoff. It was amazing. And this is our business that we do as a family, and you're going to be winning a candle from La Luna Glow Candles. So in our episode number 3, what we said is that the way that you can win is by liking the podcast. You needed to subscribe to our channel, and you needed to write a comment that basically was either funny or clever or just something that
unique.
Yeah,
we're looking for uniqueness.
Our hearts.
Yeah.
Our channel is growing, and we thank each and every one of you that has subscribed to our channel. But please, if you haven't yet and you love our podcast, go ahead and subscribe and hit like, because that makes a world of difference for us, right? But this particular comment just touched our hearts because it hit each of the points that we had talked about, and we just thought it was the most clever. We read all of them. Thank you guys so much for your support of us. I know that a lot of you actually follow my daughter Jessie or my son Joey as well, Jonathan. We thank you guys for just loving our family, and even you have followed Joe in his radio career. So we see you, we read your comments, and we appreciate you.
Vamos a leer lo que ellos escribieron.
Yes.
Soy un espíritu en un cuerpo humano with an Apple Vision Pro listening to Michael Jackson in a DeLorean while going back to the future to stop Fidel Castro from imprisoning my grandfather as a political prisoner while eating a flan. Love the podcast. Felicidades, Joe and Cristina, from La Familia Esteves in Miami.
Okay, so La Familia Esteves, you have won a candle from La Luna Glow Candles. Go ahead and email us. We'll put the email below in the description, but it's yesperonopodcast@gmail.com. La Familia Esteves, and please get in contact with us so we can send you a very special gift. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it. We're going to be doing another giveaway this month of March.
Yes, it's not going to be una vela. It's going to be something else. So
yes. We will let you know the next episode that we're going to be doing a giveaway. That's the one that you need to do. Before we go, we are already in March. Can you believe that? Already, March 19th is the beginning of spring. I'm excited because having a candle business, now it's all the beautiful smells of spring. But also, there's lots of decorating going on as far as now for Easter. And guess what? Easter is not in April this year. Easter is March 31st. So if you guys haven't gotten it for the kids, make sure you're going to get those baskets and the chocolates. Do it now before everything just goes away, because March is Easter already. So crazy. The year passes by like that.
Se va rápido.
Thank you guys so much for being here. It means the world to us for you guys to be supporting this podcast.
Bueno, llegó el momento de nosotros también comer de ese pan y terminar el podcast el día de hoy. Thank you so much. Y como siempre te decimos, es yes.
Pero no, los amamos. ¡Mua!